A Lad from Sardinia, Book 3, Chapter 32, Portofino. Shark sped across the water with wind from the north, doing 5 knots or better, sailing all she was worth. I was sitting at table, poring over map. Mars, acting playful, gave my shoulders a slap. "We done right well, lad. I should say you. You guided this craft as well as could do." He poured us a rum, this time straight from the jug. "Here's to good sailing," and he lifted his mug. But the course that I charted was west just a tad, and at the mercy of currents, while sitting in doldrums, having great perseverance in the fog with that galleon? De Lebec disregarded all that I'd said. "Some fine sailing, son, here on the Med." Just then Cap strolled in with Lime right behind him. "So, men, what's our course? Before you get worse, for I see you open a bottle." "Ah, Cap, have a brew. And Lime, one for you. As you know, Cap, I'm not one to dawdle." "Eh, Cap, 'tis true, we've had one or two, but our senses ain't dulled for the vino. Before we lose light, we'll steer you right to Genoa, or my choice, Portofino." "Portofino," he said, with conviction that read it intrigued him, or he'd been there before. Was it pirates, I wondered? But nay, I think not. Perhaps 'twas ship repair that he sought. Whatever, I thought, wasn't sure. I took a new heading to adjust our direction, and on a parchment I wrote it all down. Cap turned his neck, stared at Lebec, smiled, took the parchment, and gone. The sea became dotted with sails and with sailors, 2-man craft all the way up to whalers. And as we passed by, most waved, and they laughed. Deep Channel harbor housed all sorts of craft. A spit of land reached out, drew us along. We lowered the sails, slowly moved on. The Shark seemed to say as we entered that bay, in this small cove, so lovely, serene, "Ah, now I can rest. I gave it my best. Time to restore and be seen." Chapter 33, Sunday morning. Seabirds perched on her deck and rail. They owned the Shark from her head to her tail. Terns, sea eagles, gulls, puffins, the occasional gannet, wary-eyed pelicans. But neither birds, with all their squawking, nor even their continual whitened droppings, worried her, as lashed to the dock, and ere so gently she creaked as she rocked, the Shark sat, harbored, peacefully talking, there in that channel entry. Portofino was lovely in every way. A horseshoe of buildings of every kind right down to the waterline. Picturesque, Aunt Harmie would say, with white-capped mountains way behind. Decks came alive with activity. Time for a reading from Scripture. About 30 seated round Aunt Harmie. There was Lime, Rosanna Lynn, Cap, and me, and of course Snell, who was always a fixture. Aunt Harmie read about the Apostle Paul sailing in a storm. He had a vision that he and those with him would be safe and come to no harm. And though the ship broke apart, Paul said, "Men, take heart. We'll be safe in Jesus' arms." "I'll be," whistled Finn. "What happened then?" 276 people prayed. All 276 were saved. Not one person died in that wreck, though we all ended up in the water. Most clung to boards from parts of the deck, ended up on the isle we call Malta. Later, Paul was bit by a viper, but simply tossed it in the fire. "How far did they have to swim?"
"Any of them women?"
"Why didn't Paul die from the venom?" Oh, sure, she was riled, but politely she smiled. She knew that the boys were just teasing. "Is Malta near here?" This time it was Joe, and Harmie scowled and just said, "No." And then she just kept right on reading. It was Sunday morning. Chapter 34, Sunday afternoon. That Sunday afternoon, all the members of the crew did a right thorough clean of their bunks. They swabbed floors, aired their beds, mended togs with needles and threads, pulled all their dirty clothes out from their trunks. Mine, all of their trunks were dank, so most of their clothing stank. Even mine and Lime's were no exception. And when Joe and Aunt Harmony did inspection, now Cap had ordered such, and she shouldn't have expected much. I knew that we too were smelling rank. "Morgan," she cried, "I'm ashamed, and don't say 'tis the ship that be to blame." But I retorted just the same. Do you think any man of us would say, "I think I'll stink today"? Or that Paul, as you just read to the crew aboard, he'd said, "I'm going now, but you'll have to sink." Why, you say? Because you stink. And Harmony was lost for words, went off in another direction, and they continued their inspection. Joe, well, he turned, shook his head, and winked. 'Twas Sunday afternoon. Chapter 35. A Pile of Pirates. Gone, long before the sun. Cap, Figgins, and Joe, and some others I know, but I knew not everyone. My heart beating faster, I tried to find Snell, but looks like he's gone as well. Left me with the old sailing master. "Good morning, son. What's going on?" Mars gave me a face filled with laughter. "Maybe good, maybe not, but 'tis a feeling I got. I feel a bit more like disaster." No more than a time it took to say the things I said, on Mars' face came a look that underscored my dread. There were 8, maybe 10, swords drawn, scabby men, running to and fro upon the deck. Up the ropes more came climbing, and to keep the bell from clanging, one rotten pirate slit my friend Cole's neck. I was whelmed with raw emotion, but I saw myself slow motion as I targeted the bloke that did that deed. Sprang forward, even, steady, pulled my hammers to the ready, pulled both triggers on my flintlock, watched him bleed. Others said I bloody screamed. Don't remember, but it seemed my objective was to give that bell a clang. 2 more chased. I made them pay with a dagger from Mulray. As my hand reached for that bell, another pirate beside me fell, by whose hand I couldn't tell. With a burst of speed to the bell I sprang, and I rang and rang and rang and rang and rang. Seems like all the Italianos from that village Portofino came a-running to the rescue of the shark. Rosanna Lynn, she found me, and she wrapped her arms around me. I was blood red, but no pirate left a mark. Figgins, Cap, and Snell, and the other crew as well, met the crowd of townfolk, most 50 men. When asked, they said, "A fight, but your little ship's all right. Some are dead. These 15 are in chains. For the others left on board, there'll be a small reward, so have your crew dispatch them to the court." Cap Harmony, it was the bell. We came a-running at the knell. 'Twas your lad Morgan caused them to abort. Uncle Willem walked slowly up the plank, looked up at all the eyes. As he met our gaze, each one of us he praised, with me some special pride. Then we all gave shout as De La Bec boomed out, "Captain, she was neither stole nor sank." Ah, brave lads and lasses, you've made me proud, and I'm not afraid to say it loud. The best damn crew that ever sailed the Med. Someone cried, "Well said!" Let's give a look up on the deck and see just what we've got. We had laid ours out, respectfully, each one side by side. Some said words about bravery and how they each had died. There was Warren, the one from my hometown, and I wept. Poor shanghaied one. There was Abel, Theo, and my new friend Cole. I felt sad deep down. We had dragged the ruffians in a pile, all the dead, that is. Counting 13, Captain smiled, and only 4 of ours. In the pile of pirates there was movement and a groan. Aunt Harmony ran to assist the man, yelled Cap in a commanding tone, "Don't touch him, let him rot." Harmy, she just stared at Cap, said, "Indeed, sir, I shall not. Unc Willem, embarrassed yet again, said, Figgins, Snell, take 3 men. Scour this ship from end to end. Make sure the shark is squared away. Don't need a stowaway. The thought flashed in and out my mind. Could Cap be hinting about the female kind? Aunt Harmony turned to the task at hand, grubbed through the stack of human lumber, then with the aid of another man, pulled him out from under. To no one's joy, he was but a boy, about maybe a year younger than I. Says he, So sorry, Mom. Out for just a bit of fun. Didn't think I was gonna die. I just knew that boy was through. By the look, he was dead already. But I brought him rum and gave him some, tried to hold him steady. He took 1 sip and licked his lips, closed his eyes, fell asleep. Cap shook his head. A shame he's dead. Lay him back most easy on that heap. Aunt Harmy's eyes were wet with tears, but she issued no complaint. As part of no good buccaneers, he was certainly not a saint. I reached then to console her, but she needed no such shoulder. She turned to me with voice so clear and eyes that seemed to smolder. Morgan, my son, what's done is done. Be he 13 years or 30. This boy was justice worthy. He chose the life he chose. Could have died like this, or even hung from gallows.